And as soon as it comes back in, alright, you should now be seeing me. So I'm going to keep going. In fact, I'm not going to talk so much. So those of you, there was about 3 or 4 of you on here. What I want you to do is kick back in as soon as you can. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to step to my chat room side. So I'm going to put it up this way. There's a lot of people on broadcasting because, you know, we're stepping into the Memorial Day weekend coming up here. So this is why a lot of people are jumping on right now. And we're going to get this information out. So rather than me setting a tweet out right now, I'm just going to continue with this broadcasting live. Okay, so many of you should, if you can, step right back in. I am right here. Okay, this is Circle Grace 1. I am back on with a special edition. And what we're doing, folks, we're coming on with some numerology again. Alright, so many of you may have gotten lost in the shuffle. Just step back in, okay? And here we go. Now, this is Thursday, May the 26th, 2011, and we're coming back on here. I'm going to get this correct. So this is for the key to life is numerology. This is going to be here for all of us, part 2 of 2. Now, what am I doing right now is one of the things that I'm putting across here, all of you that are here, I'm going to also let you know I'm back here again of 2 of 2. Because we want to get everybody on here. You know, it's sometimes there's so much information that's going on line here at this special website that everybody is, and I'm glad to be a part of it. Is revolutionary in itself, and so this is an opportunity to put information out that everybody can utilize. And we want to make sure people get this. So this is part 2 of 2. And this is, of course, 5/26/2011. That means other people are going to see this now, so we're going to release it again. Now, while we're out there doing this, I'm going to jump right into this, and I'm going to be able to see people click in. So what I got to do is I've got to reduce my screen a little bit, so people can come on in, and we're still broadcasting. Alright, so what I'm going to do today, I'm just going to really walk you through, we might say in a simplistic format, but I'm going to walk you through double digits, triple digits, and quadruple digits that are all the same. And we're going to house that under the name of master numbers. Now, I've been doing numerology since, I'm going to tell you, since July of 1974, at the end of June, but in July of 1974, in the early part of it, right around Independence Day, I walked into a old used bookstore and found a book on astrology. So I tried as much as I could at then, fresh out of college, to study astrology. Then I jumped into numerology. I found a book, but the author's name was Ken Avery, and he talked about numerology. And I read things on myself that seemed to click. I liked it. Now, I had been into studying metaphysical and spiritual and parapsychological things during the time of college. In college from 1970 to 1974 at Bard College is where I started delving in to get a further understanding, because when I was 8 years old I had my first dream and vision and didn't know that my mother was going to be my spiritual teacher, who I refer to now as Mother Grace, the late Mother Grace. And she was my spiritual teacher, my very first spiritual teacher. And so this is why I call it Circle of Grace 1. She was the first grace in my life that later told me that the angel of grace would come to me and teach me more, and many more people that would come to me and teach me. And then I would sooner or later develop my healing abilities and my prophetic side. That would come forward, the ability not just to be psychic, but to be very intuitive, to be clairvoyant, to be clairaudient, to be clairsentient, and so on and so on. And I would be teaching, and I would be a different kind of minister. In our family, we had Baptist ministers, Episcopalian, African Methodist, Episcopalian ministers. We had people in the Catholic Church who were ministers and nuns. Okay, and we had Christian deacons, Southern Baptist deacons and ministers. But she said I would become a different kind of minister. And said my brother would become a different kind of minister. We became different ministers. And so here I am, 37 years strong, doing this work and bringing it out to everybody. So if as soon as you see that tweet go out to you, come right back. But you can also go, when you come up on the page, you should be able to swing down further and see the other information here that I did earlier today. And you should be able to see it. The information is right here for you. You'll see right now you'll see the special spiritual edition in promo, but later I'll put up the first part of the numerology that I did for 2 hours, and today I'm here with the second part. Now, what am I doing with all of this numerology? I'm sharing this right now because it's very important for people. Many people for the past, since 2008, 2007, far back as 2005, people have been waking up in the middle of the night, or they might be driving down the road, or they might be on a bus, or they might be on a subway, could be on the street walking, maybe going to work or coming home having a day off, and they happen to feel the need to look at their watch, or they see a LED display with the time going by, and it captures their eye. They wake up in the middle of the night and they see the numbers 333 or the 1111, 1212. Well, some of this can be programmed out there for us to see it, but also it's spiritually us reawakening to a calling, a deeper calling, an inner calling for ourselves. So one of the things I'm going to talk about, and what I should really go into before I do these double-digit numbers, these triple-digit numbers, and these quadruple-digit numbers, which are master numbers. From double-digit on out is master numbers. That means double-digit means the numbers are exactly the same. So we're going to look at numbers that go from 1 all the way up to the 9 range, okay? And what happens when you have addresses that got double-digit zeros in them or other double digits in them? I'm going to tell you what's going on in there, okay? This is good to know, especially if you live in apartment buildings or you live like out in the West Coast. You got those real long digits in the West Coast, and you see, or in the Southwest too, and the West and the Southwest regions, and they got these real long digits, right? Also in the South, some of these street names with the people's house numbers, real long digits on them, and it's so many feet from the center of town, or it could be, so many feet from the center of town, when you see digits like that. All right, so one of the things I'm going to say first, I'm just going to briefly go through numbers 1 to 9, just briefly, and this is going to help you understand where people live. If you're at a house with the address adds to 1, not counting the street, we're looking at, right, not counting, we might have to count the building. And then if you live in an apartment area where you just have the building, and then of course from the building you have the number on your apartment door. That's unique too. So let's say if you have, let's say, a 1, the vibration adds to 1 on that building or on that house. That vibration adds to 1. All you do is just add the digits up. When it adds to 1, this is what it means. It means everybody there might be born under the sign of Leo. Leo represents the number 1, which is ruled by the sun. So if you see a house number or place of business that adds to the number 1, because this is what I was supposed to give in that first special edition on the Key to Life is Numerology, and I'm giving it right now. If you see the number 1, the number 1 means that people there are competitive. People there enjoy being leaders. Okay? People there enjoy taking the lead. They want to feel very important. They might be very self-centered, or they might be selfless, meaning like they're not selfish, they give of themselves. They want to help people, they want to be teachers, they have an interest in math or crunching numbers like taxes and accounting and bookkeeping with their businesses. They can be very innovative in their thinking. They can definitely be leaders, new thought leaders, that number 1. Highly competitive. You might find them playing sports or playing an individual game like tennis or golf. Okay, or skeet shooting, or bowling. Even though bowling can be a team sport, but they like that one-on-one competition. Archery, things like that, one-on-one. They can be a marathoner or running the mile. Even though they can be a part of a team, but they like that individual challenge. That's in the vibration of the 1. Any house or building marked with the number 1 adds to the number 1. Let's say the person's apartment door number is a 1. You'll find that quality there as well. The number 1 is significant. Now here's a hint. Even though you're looking at the address and it adds to number 1, if you have a person in that house number or building number mark 1, they may also attract 4 vibration, which is Uranus type people, Aquarius type people, or they may attract the number 2 quality people, which is a lunar influence like Cancerian people, or 7, which is a Neptunian quality, which is Piscean people, to that 1 vibration. Now that is the same for people under the 2, the 4, and the 7. People under the 1, 2, 4, and 7 will live well in households that are adding to 1, 2, 4, or 7. Now, I've had some experiences as a number 7 person, born in a 11 vibration, living in 11 vibration, and it moves very well. It's also a house of mysteries and secrets. But the secrets are positive secrets, not negative secrets. Positive is dealing with the mysteries of life. It's dealing with the dreams and visions that are going on. It's dealing with the mystical quality of nature. You'll find that in an 11 marked house. Or a house that's 38 that adds to 11. Or 308 that adds to 11. Or a house that is 704 or 407. See what I'm hinting at here? Or a house that is 56 or 506. Or 605. Just an example. So what's going on is that people who have birthday numbers, calendar day numbers that add to 1, 2, 4, and 7, you will find them drawn to houses that add to those numbers 1, 2, 4, and 7. A number 1 person will be comfortable in their own element first, of a house that adds to 1, followed by a house added to 4, equaling the 4 number. A person born under the 2 or 7 quality, you'll find them acclimating quite well, being quite comfortable in a house adding to 2. House number that adds to 2, or apartment number that adds to 2. Or apartment number that adds to 7. And the same with a number 4 person. They'll be comfortable in a house that adds to 4, 2 or 1 or 7. And a 7 person will find the house that adds to 7, acclimating quite well for them, followed by a 2 vibration, followed by a 4 and a 1. Now, who's the person that can get along in all of those? A 5 person can get along quite well in those vibrations. Also, a 3 person can get along quite well. A number 6 person, a person born on the 6, 15, and 24, may not get along too well in a house vibration representing ruled on by number 1 or ruled on by number 4. Might have a little difficulty there, but they'll work with it. That means they have to be emotionally sensitive and mental at the same time if you're a 6 person in that house. If you're a 6 person in a house that adds to 2 or 7, you'll be able to connect with it because you're emotional, they're emotionally sensitive. The only thing is you have to realize they like being to themselves. People in the 2 and 7 houses, especially 7 houses, like being to themselves. 4 house, people in there like being different, radically different. They can get along or not get along, but they'll be in there. Okay? If this house adds to a 2 or apartment number is 2, partnerships and relationships are in order. That's something that's very important. Partnerships are highly important if it's a 2 marked house. Balance and harmony is very, very important. It should be a house of diplomacy, the house of goodwill. That's a number 2 house. If it's a 4 house or apartment that adds to 4, or residence of 4. Now, this would also mean if it's a business as well. But let's look at it as a place where people know each other intimately, okay? If it's a 4 marked house, these are builders. These are people who like to build. These are people that either have a lot of order or disarray. And if it's an apartment number 4, you can almost walk into it. Either be distinctively, uniquely set up, everything meticulously in place, or all over the place. That's to be the 4. Now, if it's a 7, 7s like 4s and 8s have a lot of stuff. They accumulate. 4, 7, 8. Those are the old soul qualities. They accumulate stuff. So they have a lot of stuff. And I know because I have a lot of stuff. And 7s is like, I used to always call it the shaman's cave. Because you got everything in that 7. You got some mystical stuff in there, a little spiritual, magical, divinity stuff in there. You've got science fiction books in there. You've got medical books in there. You've got holistic books in there. You've got mechanical book-oriented manuals in there in a 7's house. You'll also see in the 7 person's house things that are dealing with like aromatherapy and crystals in their house, books on that nature. Anything that's spiritual and intuitive, metaphysical, romantic arts is in there. Holistic, it's in there. You'll see it. Eventually, you come across it on some level, or they'll start building the library on it. So when you see that 1 house number, house that adds to 1, or an apartment that adds to 1, apartment door. 1, 2, 4, and 7. That's what they have there. That's what you'll see there. So that gives you a hint. If you see an address that happens to have the number 1, 2, 4, and 7 in it, just like that, without adding it up, it gives you those qualities. Leo will be there under the 1 vibration. Aquarius will be there under the 4 vibration. Pisces will be there under the 7 vibration. Cancers would be there under the 2 vibration. Cancerian people. And here's all the other alternative people that will be there. People born in the 1st month or the 10th month will be sitting in there. That's January and October. People will be drawn to that address. If that address again has 1, 2, 4, and 7 in it, if you see it on 1, 2, and 7. But if you happen to see all 4 of the numbers, it's going to tell you. If there's 4 in there, you're going to see people born under the Cancerian sign there and Aquarian nature in there at the same time. You're going to see people in the Pisces nature or Libra nature in there a little bit. 7th sign, you're going to see a Libra nature. 2nd sign, you're going to see a Taurian nature in there along with the Cancerian quality that's there. This is just a hint. This is just a way that you can kind of play with numbers. That's what we're doing today. Today we're playing with numbers. We're showing some different interesting qualities. And these are some of the things I didn't get a chance to cover in that special edition, The Key to Life is Numerology, which is really like a part 1. When I'm done with this one, I'm going to put this up too, so we get it there so you can see it. And then we're going to talk about the master numbers in this one as well. I just wanted to give this extra information. If there's a house number that adds to 5 and 6, these are the public-oriented people. They attract people from all over, that 5 and 6 vibration. I didn't forget about the 3 now, because 3 is a learning vibration. People go to school there. So you have a house number that adds to 3, people go to school there. People go to school there. People go to school there. If it's adding to that, people love going to school. They love to learn. They will be self-taught too. They also love artistic expression. They express themselves through poetry, through writing poetry, reading about it, non-fiction, fictional work, plays, operas, cabaret places. They like going to those kind of places. You see that in that 3 vibration a lot. They like to expand their awareness. That's a Jupiterian place, okay? Expanding their knowledge, expanding what they know. So they love to learn and then teach what they know. Very good, very creative with the written or the spoken word. Dancers are there, musicians are there. You jump over to the 5, they like to communicate too. They communicate quickly. They're the messengers. They adapt to energy. So it's speed oriented. So if you see a house that adds to 5 or a house that adds to 3, that's high energy. In the 3 and the 5 house, that's high energy, high creative energy. In the 5 house, those are your salespeople, people that work in the telemarketing fields, people that are marketers, people that are in public relations fields, people that are in advertising. That's in that 5 location. Business that adds to 5, apartment number adds to 5, office number that adds to 5. Or on the 5th level of an apartment building. 5th level, people on the 5th level of apartment building or business area, everything moves fast in their mind. They're drawn to that area. Everything moves real quick. Work under pressure. That's 5. 5s can work under pressure. That's very unique. So that's something you want to be aware of about the 5. The nature of 5 is learning all the time. That's the nature of the 5. Always have the gift of learning, gift of hearing, receiving information and giving it out. They're the messengers. And they're the freedom seekers. That's with the 5. So if a house that adds to 5, or a business that adds to 5, or an apartment number with adding to 5, that's what you're going to see in there. Now, an apartment number that adds to 6, or the house number in the building, residential building number or house number is a 6, or office place of business is a 6. 6, that's going to cater to families. It's going to cater to the civilians. It's going to be in the service-oriented part. They might run restaurants. They might have an advertising agency, some type of agency, a social worker kind of agency there. They can also deal with some form of investments going on. Could be dealing with not necessarily retirements, but stocks and bonds and things of that nature. Okay, CDs, in terms of that, IRAs. That's going to be very, very significantly connected to the 6. 6 can be like gardeners kind of energy too. Landscaping kind of energy can grow out of the 6 vibration. So you'll kind of see that there with the nature of the 6. Now 6s also can go well in the teaching and the educational fields. It also falls in the medical fields as well, and the holistic field. So this is under the nature of the 6. 6 is the caretakers, right, and the caregivers. So you might see agencies that have a 6 in the address or adds the 6. Or office number is 6. 6 will draw Venus type of quality of people. So that's Libra and Taurus. If it was the address that added to 5, that will draw Mercury type people, which is Gemini and Virgo. If it's an address that added to 7, it'll draw Pisces. Added to 4, it'll draw Aquarius. Added to 2, will draw Cancerian. Added to 1, will draw Leo. Now, if it's a 6 vibration, it may very well attract Libra and Taurus people first, and then some Virgo personalities afterwards. 6, service-oriented, wanting to give, the caretaker, the guidance counselor. That's in the 6. The nurturer, wanting to take care of someone. That's in that 6 vibration. The nurse, the doctor, the therapist, the massage therapist, the reflexologist, coming under that 6 quality in there. Now, here's the 8. The 8 deals with finances, banking, investments, residential, commercial property. They're also dealing with tradition, or they might deal with appraisals and antiques. That's the 8. Might be very eclectic, very ancient oriented in the thinking, but very traditional nonetheless. Where 4 can be traditional but non-traditional. 4 is going to do something different. 8 is going to stick to the plan. 8 sticks to what works. 4 is going to try something new. If what didn't work, didn't work. If the traditional thing didn't work for the 4 is going to do something different. If it's under the 8 vibration, it's going to have the stick-to-itiveness ability and power. It's going to stay with the program. It's going to not move too far. That's the 8. So that means if you see a building number, an office building number marked 125 or 512, that's an 8. Okay, if you see it have 107, 708, or 178, or a building has 260 or 8206, if it happens to be a business, that's vibration. That's you're going to see that. Now it has that 7. If it was 8206, it's going to have the energy of a 167 behind it. So people in there might be a little bit more toward the spiritual. They're leaning towards spiritual things. Old soul, 8, 7s, and 4s. You see that 874 is old soul quality. So if the address adds to 8, it's going to deal with investments, real estate. It's going to deal with memorabilia stuff. It's going to deal with, can deal with the book industry as well, but it's going to be dealing with traditional books. It can deal with theater, traditional plays, traditional music, classical music will be there with that 8 vibration. All right. Also, along with that 8 vibration, again, go into theater. It may also go into biology. Spirit is telling me to tell you biology. Okay, that's something that's going to be in that quality of the 8 there. Learning is going to be definitely, and these are the people that have staying power when you got that 8 vibration. They stay around a very long time. They've got longevity. So people in the 8 mark building will be here for a long time. They can go into government, local government, national government, international government, trade. They can also, with like 3s and 5s, 6s and 8s, also can go into language interpretation and international languages and things. They're there to study. They're there to do a lot of work. If it's a house that's marked 9, these are very competitive people, like the 1s, highly competitive individuals, and they also enjoy being out and about in the public as a socialite. They like being the entertainers. They can be professional amateur athletes, but very good at what they do. Entertainers, they be the comedians. They can be the go into dramatic plays and comedy. They can do fiction, non-fiction, documentary kind of work. They can do sci-fi work. They can do anything that deals with galactic kind of space stuff. They like that. They can also, if I mentioned science fiction, that's with that 9. They also like chess. They can do the humanitarian philanthropist stuff, just like the 8s and the 7s. They like to be very helpful. So they go into the holistic fields. They can go into psychology, just like the 7s and the 8s. They can go into like being a marital counselor, being an accountant, being a lawyer, being a government official. Military, like the 3s. These are 9s and the 3s can go in the military areas too. They can come out and be your generals. Okay, but they are your sports warriors, and they are your spiritual warriors, and the military type of warriors that come in that 9 vibration. They like contact sports. That's very important. So you see a 9 marked on the building. Just adds to a 9, or the residence adds to a 9. What you got to watch out for there, you might have Scorpio and Aries, or very high energetic people, very dramatic personalities. Sometimes arguments can be there. A good debate can go on there as well. Feelings can get hurt very easily in there. So if you're not thick-skinned, you can have your feelings hurt in a 9 office building or a 9 residence. So I just wanted to give you that information. Now we're going to step into, because we've been on here a little bit, and right now I came in here at about 4 o'clock with this information. I believe I was here since 4 o'clock. So right now it's about 4:37 p.m. on Thursday, and yeah, we've been around about 41 minutes now, roughly 40 minutes. So the information I want to share with you right now is this. We're looking at, and we're just going to kind of, I don't want to move through this too fast, but I want to give you a hint about it at the same time. I'm going to give you some information. Now, if you look at the first part 2 special edition of The Key to Life is Numerology, I basically covered the numbers 1 through 9. So right there, you're going to have the qualities of numbers. So I'm going to give you the planetary vibration. I'm going to give you the astrological vibration. The only thing I didn't even touch upon today was colors with the numbers. So you can do that. We can do that another time. 1 is the sun, which is Leo. 2 is the moon, which is the astrological sign of Cancer. 3 is Jupiter, which takes you into Sagittarius, co-ruler Pisces. 4 is Uranus, Aquarius, co-ruler Leo. 5 is Mercury, that gives you Gemini and Virgo. Okay. 6 is Venus, gives you Taurus and Libra. 7 is Neptune, gives you Pisces, co-ruling in Cancer, under the sign of Cancer. 8 is Saturn, puts you in Capricorn. 9 is Mars, and that draws you to Aries and Scorpio. That's just the numbers 1 through 9. So now, keeping that in mind, the number with the planet, ruling planet of a particular sun sign and co-ruling sun sign, when you see double digits come up. Now, when we're looking at double digits, triple digits, and quadruple digits, this is the way I want you to move with this, flow with this. Say you have a blackboard right in front of you. The number to the far left in the 4th position, starting, because we write numbers from left to right. Other cultures write from right to left. But since we're more comfortable, more programmed, working from left to right, the only thing is when we're doing math, it moves from right to left when you're doing math. How interesting, right? Well, it has to, because of where we place our decimals and where we place our commas. So for interest, for the way we want to look at this, 1 in the units column is all the way to the right. The number just to the left of that is in the tens column. The number to the left of that second column, the tens column, is the hundreds column. And then the column to the left of that one, to the far left, is the 1000s column. So when you're looking at 4 digits falling in that, 3 digits falling in 1, 2, 3, unit, 10, 100, double digit falling in unit and tens column. But all of those are master numbers when they're double digits sharing the same exact number. Triple digits, same exact number. Quadruple digits, same exact number. So, when we're dealing with this, here's another way that I want you to look at this. Hold on just a second. Okay. I've been really working today, pushing even through my sinus congestion. All right, this is what I want to share with you. When you are seeing a double digit like 11, 22, 30, a master number 11, 22, 33, going all the way up to 99. In fact, starting with double zeros going up to 99. That's a powerful series. But imagine how powerful it is when it's 3 numbers that are the same, 4 numbers that are the same, and going even further out, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, just infinite flow going all the way out. The way that you could look at this is the double-digit master numbers are dealing or connecting with you either on the fire pole and the air pole. So what are you saying, Bishop? This is the way I want you to write this down. If you got a piece of paper while you're going to watch this, if you have a piece of paper, this is what you can do. Let me take a little sip of juice here. This is what you can do. You can take right across the top of the paper this. You're going to put in right at the top, I want you to write these letters. S, comma, I. And then right at the top on an angle, write spiritual, intuitive. Spiritual, intuitive. The next one, that means to the far, in the first column or right to the far left. Now, the column going this way, the next column over. And what you should do is, if you want, you can write it this way. You can write it spiritual and intuitive in one little column by itself. The column right next to it, attached right next to it, to the right. You want that one to be mental, philosophical, logic and reasoning column. Okay? Analytical column. The third column to the right of that. So you got 3 columns you're developing, 4 columns you're going to develop. But the third column is what? The third column is the creative, emotional, psychic, feeling kind of energy zone. And then the fourth column, where the units column is, you're going to put down there physical and material. Now, these 4 columns, what you're looking at is this. You're looking at the state of mind. The state of mind. Now, all of those 4 columns, now just draw a line underneath that. And right underneath this, I want you to write this. Underneath the physical and material, I want you to write the word earth. E-A-R-T-H. Earth underneath the physical material, you see. Underneath the psychic, artistic, creative, feeling, emotional zone, column, to the left of that, just to the left of that, I want you to put water. W-A-T-E-R, water. Underneath now, you see where we're going with this, underneath the mental, the analytical, the philosophical side, column, right air. And now, where you started with the spirit and intuitive column, underneath that line, in that same column, underneath it, write fire. Now, what do we have? We got the 4 states of mind, is what we really understand where this is going to, the 4 states of mind. Underneath, we're talking about the 4 elements of nature. The 4 elements of nature. So now, to help you, when you see the numbers come out, this is how you can look at it. This is how you can really look at it. Let's say now, I've already given you the meanings briefly of the planet in this video broadcast. You've got what the number 1 means as a planet or star, ruling the sign that it rules, as well as a co-ruling sign. In the Circle of Grace 1 Special Edition, The Key to Life is Numerology, and I have to mark that one part 1 of 2 because this is part 2 of 2. I gave you a whole kit and caboodle of 1 through 31 in terms of the calendar, and then I talked to you about it as a lesson, the nature of what one would be learning in life by those numbers, as well as the talents and skills and personality traits of those numbers. Astrological information, planetary information in that sense. So you've got all this stuff now that you can apply to this particular video, part 2 of 2, right here. Circle Grace 1 channel, special edition on The Key to Life is Numerology, part 2 of 2. And the reason why I didn't go out and broadcast it, because I want to make sure I can get on here and teach it. So many of you are coming back on right now. I'm glad you are, because we're talking about, and those of you that are coming back now, you'll be able to see what these numbers mean. This is when you wake up in the middle of the night. This is a concept, an idea that I put together. I didn't basically study it with anybody else. This is on my own time of meditating about this. Now, I've been involved in numerology since 1974. July of 1974 is when I went into numerology to study it. You get to really apply it to myself. And I do charts all the time. All kind of charts, different forms. So, after 37 years of putting this all together, here's another way in which you can comprehend these numbers. Now, the reason why I'm teaching it, because this is also a part of the Circle of Divine Grace and Remembrance, which is my spiritual and metaphysical institute. So I'm coming on to giving some introductory, but very concise, very compact lesson plans that you can utilize right away and for free right away. So what we did here, if you weren't able to see it before, what I just did was, if you got a piece of paper, and have the piece of paper vertically if you want, or horizontally is better, just in case you need more room. But what you needed to do, if you left the page vertically, you draw a line going across. And then you divided it equally into 4 parts. Put 4 vertical lines in, so you have 4 vertical columns equally spaced, in their width. To the far right, above that top line, I wanted you to write the letters S, I, or better this, spiritual, intuitive. Then the second column, right to the left of that, right to the right of that rather, on your piece of paper, that was your mental column, meaning the column of being able to analyze, being very philosophical, using logic and reasoning. Then the column to the right of that one, vertically, is dealing with your psychic nature, dealing with your feeling nature, your emotional nature, your artistic expression nature, your gut feeling, emotional sensitivity. And then that 4th column to the far right is the physical, material side of you. But those 4 are the 4 states of mind. Now, underneath that horizontal line, above it you got those names, right? Underneath that horizontal line, you have another bit of information. So if we start, I did it before, to the right, underneath the physical and the material column. In that column, underneath the title, you're going to put Earth. Underneath the one just to the left of that, where you have the psychic and the emotional and the creative words, underneath there you put water, W-A-T-E-R. To the left of that, underneath the mental, analytical, logic, and reasoning, in that column, underneath those words you put air. Underneath the spiritual and the intuitive, you put fire. Draw another line across. Now you got a chart set up. Any numbers that fall there that are all the same, or even different, but I'm doing this so you see that they're all the same. We're dealing with master numbers, double-digit numbers that are the same as the master numbers. Double-digit, triple-digit, quadruple-digit. These are the zones that they're going to cover. So let's say you looked at the clock and you saw, you're going to see 11. You might see 211. Don't think about the 2 right now. Put the 11 there. When you write numbers from math, you put 1 in the units column, 1 in the tens column. So it doesn't matter if it's 11, 22, 33, 44, 55, 66, 77, 88, 99. It goes in those 2 columns. When you see that 11 is telling you something about the state of your mind. It's physical and material. It's also letting you know you're dealing with the earth under that 1 vibration there, and you're also dealing with your emotional nature, the elements of water, and you're dealing with your psychic side. So when you see the number 11 tied to a time, doesn't matter if it was 211, 111, 1111, 911, doesn't matter what kind of day it is or time right now, you are dealing with your emotional body and your material physical body. You're dealing with your psychic side, your emotional side, your creative side, sensitivities. That's what you're dealing with. And you see the 11. Now let's say you see triple ones. When we write it, write 111. But when we're writing it, we're not writing it as 1 showing up in the spirit column. It's really the 1 has to rest. That 1 has got to anchor itself. So it's being anchored in the earth element. So as it gets anchored in the earth element, the triple ones, the next one is falling in what? The water element. And the third one is falling in what? The air element. So now you got 3 states of mind in action. 3 states of mind in action with the number 1 going on. So 1 is self. 1 is Leo. Is your ego. You're looking at your ego, your personal ego, and what do you think about it? You're thinking about how the light is traveling through yourself, your solar consciousness on that 1. Solar being sun. So you're your solar consciousness, your high spiritual self, but you're thinking about yourself on mental. How analytical are you getting? Looking at triple ones, 111. 1 falling in the mental. Now you look at 1, yourself, you independent self, 1. You're an independent thinking person, individual person. You're thinking all the time. You're analyzing all the time. You're looking at logic, sets, and reasoning all the time. Now you're dealing with your emotional level there too. You're seeing that 1, and you're seeing that other 1, the triple ones, other 1 falling into the earth element, material side, physical side. Well, Bishop, what happens when it's 11:11? We're not looking at whether it's AM or PM. If we see it PM, we're dealing with something at nighttime or subconscious. And if we're looking at it the AM, it's just dawning upon us, just waking up, a realization now coming through. But it can come through either way. It can come in the womb on PM or come in the morning, daytime, birthed into the AM. When it's 11:11, now you've got the 11 stacked up differently. Now you've got the 11 this way. You've got the 1 sitting in the spirit intuitive mind state. Then the next one is sitting in the mental philosophical analytical state. And you got the other one sitting in your emotional creative psychic state. And then you got the 1 sitting in the physical material state. So you see on the clock, you wake up and you happen to see 11:11, or you're driving in the morning, daytime you see 11:11, or at night, you're dealing with all 4 elements at the same time. Self, yourself, all at the same time. If it was all 2s in any one of those positions, if it was all 2s, 22, 212, 222, or 2222, military time? What would you be looking at? Well, 2 is the nature of partnership. 2 is also the lunar activity, lunar force. So if you see 22 just by itself, you are looking at the partnership, the relationship that you have with others on the emotional level and on the physical material level. On the creative level, are you in touch with the creative side of you? That's what you're dealing with. That's what you're looking at. Now if you see 222, you got 222 cutting in. You're looking at it, you see it on a time. Or you happen to look up, you're driving down the road, and you see it on a license plate or a truck. You see it on a building, 222. Well, your higher self might be telling you this. What is your relationship or your partnership on the physical material side in the units column? In the tens column, what is your relationship like or partnership side on the emotional side of you? Or that last 2, when you wrote that first 2, in that third column, what are you thinking about when it comes to relationships? How are you seeing yourself through relationships? Now if you see 2222, that's the master number twice, 2222. Number 22 was the materialization, materialization of dreams and visions, where the 11 was just getting the dream and the vision first, in the unseen. But in the 22 is making it concrete. So 2222. Now you got all 4 2s, but what is your relationship to what is the 2? You see the 4 2s, you're thinking about what's the relationship that's going on with your spiritual intuitive self, with your mental analytical self. Are you balanced? Are you showing some degree of balance? Or maybe you need to show more degree of balance, or that's what's coming up in your life. You're going to have a partnership relationship spiritually, intuitively with people, mentally, analytically with people, emotionally, psychically with people, and earthbound, the practical nature. All that's going to be rolling together for you. 33, triple threes, 3333. Well, 33 has been looked at as the Christ number. In the fraternal orders of the Shriner, that's the Shriner's degree, the 33rd degree Mason. Went all the way up to 32, and now got the honorary 33. The 33 means the person is wide awake, becomes the guardian of that which is in the tomb. That's what's in the archives. The keeper of wisdom is the 33, the Shriner, keeping the shrine intact. Christ number, the anointed one, the one who's chosen, you might say, but is also one who's highly creative, how creative, and loves to learn, has creative ways of learning. 33 now, 3 in the earth pole, 3 in the water pole. So looking at the emotional nature and the material, physical nature, psychic nature and the material nature, being creative in both. But if you see triple threes, now it's telling you to be more creative as well in the mental analytical side. Become more creative in your thinking. And if you see 33 in the heavens now manifested 33 on the earth, that's one way of looking at it. Another way of seeing it, 33 with that third 3 sitting all the way out there, starting under the spiritual and intuitive mindset. Now look what you have. That means that you're about to step, if you haven't done it, haven't been aware of it, you're about to step in and become more creative in the spiritual side. And in an intuitive means you already know what you know what you know. You know it inwardly without someone teaching it to you. That's what intuition is. So now your spiritual nature, which is the high vibration of light within you, you're becoming more creative with getting it, receiving it, understanding it, and working it through your life. 3333. Now we step into 44, the master number 44. And here is divine order in the spiritual plane, 4D, purification, 40. We looked at now in part 1, we did the root compound number 10, 20, and 30. Now we're looking at 40. And in this one you get 50, and you're going to get 60, and you're going to get 70, you're going to get 80, and you're going to get 90 root compound numbers. But look at it here right now. And again, I'm sharing this with you. There's some other ways in which you can get those stronger numbers. I'm going to give you a hint where you can find those other numbers at. If you're someone who likes reading the Bible, I'm going to tell you right now, you can jump into Psalm 119. Psalm 119 is broken up into 22 parts. Spirit says to say this to you if you're not aware of it. In the Bible, what's left of what is called the Bible, because the Bible is missing many chapters in the Old and the New Testament. But if you look at the Bible as it's given to you right now, the key is sitting right there. Go look at the 119th Psalm of the Bible. Go look at the 119th Psalm of the Bible, and when you open it up, you will see that 119th Psalm is the longest psalm in the Bible. It is broken into 22 sections. Those 22 sections are connected to the 22 paths. That's right. It's connected to the 22 paths on the Kabbalah, which is called the Tree of Life. The Kabbalah on the Tree of Life has 22 paths. It has 10 spheres, called splendors. The 22 paths are the lines that are running between the 10 spheres. And if you travel on one of those paths, you are traveling between two worlds on one of those paths at all times. So if you ever get a chance to look at the diagram for what is called a Kabbalah, the Tree of Life, you will notice that it looks very much like the DNA, the way the DNA is structured. In the DNA, we see the double strands with the lines running. If you ever get a book by Robert Wang, W-A-N-G, Robert Wang put together this book called The Kabbalistic Key, or The Kabbalistic Key to the Tarot. And what he's going to put on there, he's going to put a three-dimensional form of it that looks like Tinker Toys. Each bar will have a color, and each sphere will have a color, but when you look at the picture, it's not just flat, it's in a three-dimensional form so that you can see it spatially. And that's how the tree looks, the Kabbalah looks. Now, let me come back a little bit. I don't want to step into that too much. I want to keep you going here. And if you have any friends that want to check this out, you can come check this out. This is the Circle of Grace 1. Today's special edition of the Circle of Grace 1, right here at Ustream.tv. This is what we call random broadcasting. The Spirit brings it on me, I bring it here. There's no set time that I'll come in here, but because I'm at Ustream.tv with the Circle of Grace 1, I've been here since 2009. You get to see these in the archives. So this is a special edition that's here today. And it'll be in the archives for a very long time. You can come back and replay it whenever you want to. If you want to be in touch with me and have some questions about what you hear here, feel free to email me at im.circleofgrace1@yahoo.com or Bishop Francis at circleofgrace1.net. or send me a text message to 908-878-2978 and say, Bishop Francis, I was watching your special edition, The Key to Life is Numerology, Part 1 of 2 and Part 2 of 2, that you did on Thursday, May 26, 2011. I just got some questions or some comments I want to add. I'll be sure I would love to interact with you about numerology. So let's get back. What I'm doing is giving you some insight on how to see the numbers when you see them pop up around you. When you see the master, not only the master number 11, but you see the triple ones, the triple twos, the triple threes, the triple fours, 5, 6, 7, 8s, and 9s. When you see all the triple nines, quadruple nines, you have a way to interpret the numbers. This is just my way, but it's not the only way. There are other ways in which you can interpret the numbers. That's the thing I always want to let people know. I have my way, my technique of numerology, but what you're supposed to do when you learn a system, you make it your own after a while. You start figuring out other formulae to utilize to be able to work the numbers in your life. The key to life is numerology. And in the Tarot, the study of the Tarot, if you look at the Hierophant, the picture of the Hierophant, in the way, especially if you look at it in the traditional Waite Rider deck and some of the other more traditionalized decks of the Tarot, you will see, or the Aquarian Tarot deck, you'll see it there too. And they show you the picture of the Hierophant, which is the master of the temple in the Egyptian times. He had his adjuncts, the people that help him out. There's 2 people there at his feet. And right between the 2 feet, or right underneath, he has 2 crossing keys. He has a golden key and a silver key. The golden key is the study of the stars, the signs, astrology. The silver key is numerology. So the sister to astrology is numerology. That's why I call it the key to life is numerology. The silver key is numbers. The golden key are the stars, the sun signs, solar consciousness. So let me get back to this. I don't want to get too far away. You'll be able to see this in the archives later and replay it as many times as you want. And I want to thank those of you that are watching it live with me right now. I'm glad you're here and enjoying this time. We had about 4 people on, but in our first special edition part that we did, and I just want to make sure people are getting this information all the time. So I want you to just stay in there and bear with me. However you're seeing it, you might be seeing it through Facebook, or you might be catching it through Twitter, or you might be catching it through LinkedIn. So you have many ways in which to view this. Now, I've mentioned to you the 11s and the 22s as 1111 and 2222. Now, suppose you see, so we touched upon the 3s, the 33. See triple 3s out there, right? Remember, 3 is expanding. Expansion is creativity, it's self-expression. So when you happen to see, you're driving along, you happen to see, wow, 33, 33. I'm seeing the 33s or triple 3s. Think of it this way if you like. When you saw triple 3s, what would be the question? Well, the number's got to be anchored into the earth plane. So that's the 3 to the far right, or any number to the far right of a 2-digit, 3-digit, 4-digit number where it's all the same is being anchored down in the earth. That means you're going to make it practical for yourself. So if you're seeing now triple 3s, it's not only you're making that being practically creative, making it down to earth, your creativity, showing it on the physical and materializing it. You've got to deal with the emotional energy, the psychic energy, your gut feeling about that 3. That's what the 3 is telling you to do. When you're expressing yourself, get in terms with your feelings. Become more fiery in your presentation. Get excited. Get enthusiastic about it. And that other 3, all the way up in the air column, be creative in your thinking. When you see 4 3s, now it's saying from the spiritual plateau, you are highly intuitive and you know how to be creative. That's when you're seeing 4 3s, that's telling you, like, step out on that limb and really let yourself create. Start communing with nature on a higher level. But now we dropped into the 44. Triple fours. 44, 44. 4 is divine order. Everything in order. Fighting order against chaos. Order against disarray. So, now, what we want to be able to do, we are dealing with this. This is what we're dealing with. 4 is putting everything in order. Wanting to maintain a meticulous order. 4 on the earth plane, you got to make a decision. Some people can deal with chaos and confusion. Other people need order. 4 is the 4 elements. We've got 4 columns here. 4 columns. Fire, air, water, earth, going from left to right. At the top, spirit, intuitive, mental, analytical, philosophical, psychic, creative, emotional, and then practical and material. Physical and material. Earth. So the 4 force coming across is maintaining order in all of that. Come into the awareness of how the 4 elements and the 4 states of mind, the 4 elements become the 4 states of mind. How to maintain the order of that thinking. That's one way of looking at that. Now, 40 is purification. 40 is purification and deals with memory. 40 is memory. Mem. M-E-M. 40. So you want to go into that zone. But hey, now you got 55. 555. 55, 55. How can we look at 55, master number 55? Well, right away, the 5s are communication. 5s are the desire to be free, to express yourself any way you want. 5 is free-spirited. So 55 is twice that. Or 11 times that amount. 55, 11 times that amount. So what is 11 times? 11 is you're dealing with visions and dreams and secrets. At 55, you're uncovering a lot of secrets real quickly. At 55. It's like it's this innate ability, this magical mental ability to draw secrets out of nowhere. Maybe someone divulges a secret. You didn't even ask for it, but indirectly you did. Subconsciously you did. You have the ability to do it. So now you've got this 55, and 50, the root compound number for 55 is 50. What is that 50? Not only is it just Mercury vibration going on, not only is that a Mercury vibration going on, but also what you got going on there is an opportunity to start out fresh again. So when you see 55 go by you, or around you, or you see 555, triple fives, or you're looking at 55, 55 together around you, and you got an opportunity to start out fresh all over again. It's like you're getting a second charge of energy, second burst of energy, like a marathon runner. Marathon runner runs over 26 miles. Well, after that, you're getting that second block of 13 miles. After covering the first 13 miles, you get your second wind back. And now you can close the race strong. So you get in that range where you got 55, 555, and 55, 55. You're getting a second wind in your life, spiritually. You're being shown many different things on very minute, subtle levels. And you'll be able to interpret it because your memory will be there. Your memory will be intact. And it's a sense of rebirth, retiming. You're changing everything. You're transforming yourself. So you're coming up to a completely different level with yourself. That's what's going on with you. Think of 5 as penta, 5. When I was younger, I used to say, people say, how's it going, Revels-Bey? I said, pentabulous. I'm having a pentabulous day. Meaning I'm dealing with the 4 elements plus the 5th, which is the ethers. So now, 55 points to the ethers. Get to the center with the ethers. Yourself is in the center of you, the ethers, as well as the zeniths. These are zenith, top point of the pyramid. Fifth point of the pyramid is way at the top, but it's also in the center. So you want to, generate ideas quickly. When you see all those fives, generate ideas really quickly. Now, keep in mind, if you want to, and you're not limited, anytime you see more than two numbers that are the same that together, you can reduce them. You can reduce them all the way down to a single digit. So if you want to, you can write on the back of your sheet of paper, right? You can say 1's, right? Then triple 1's, and then triple 4's. What did you got? 2, 3, 4. Isn't that unique? You got 22, triple 2, quadruple 2. You went to 2, you went from 4, 6 to 8. See what's going on? There's always a pattern of numbers. If we study numbers enough, and I was not a math whiz by no means in grade school, high school. I was behind in math, but if I'd have known about numerology back then, I'd probably been more of a wizard with numbers. I'm just touching the tip of the iceberg of myself with these numbers, going to my own consciousness of what I can remember spiritually about these numbers. Numerology is a whole other side of mathematics. Numerology triggers your psychic and your intuitive nature, triggers your material, your philosophical, analytical side all at once when you delve into numerology. This is why I call my courses, The Key to Life is Numerology and the Power of Numbers. It just elevates you to a whole nother level of understanding, and that you have the capacity, you have what it takes to understand it, to make it easy, to facilitate it for others, to teach it to others. Now, here's 66, 666, 66, 66. 6 is what? A number of service, caretaker's number, parental kind of number. 5 is maintaining freedom, giving out information. 60. 60 is going to be your ability to attract things to yourself at 60. That means the older we get, the more we're supposed to be able to pull in. Not just go into an incubation stage, but draw more things of a like-minded nature to ourselves. You remember, when we're dealing with these double digits, you go from 11 all the way up to 99 without counting the zeros yet. The 11 becomes like a hidden root. So what is 55? 5 times 11. 66, in the way that we're looking at it. We can go 6 times 11, or what? 3 times 22. There's all kind of ways for us to plug into these numbers. You play with it too and see what you get. And you're going to find that you can just keep computing numbers and numbers and numbers. You find yourself staying up all kinds of hours of the night figuring out, what do the numbers mean? What do they mean globally, internationally? What do they mean for you? It should be the first way to take it in. What does a number mean to you? How does it speak to you? So you got 66. Root digit, compound number 60. Root digit, single digit 6. Venus quality. But now you got 60. 60 is very magnetic quality. Very magnetic. And also very fiery at the same time. Very magnetic, very fiery at the same time. The angel of grace told me to say this. 30. If you go into the study of Psalm number 119, you're going to see 22 paths, and therefore you're going to see 22 Hebraic words sitting in there. That's right, Hebraic words sitting up in there. Like, for instance, section 1 of 119 is Aleph, A-L-E-P-H, first. In the tarot, Aleph is the magician. For some reason, whoever's going to see this needs to see this and know this. Some of you might be beginners in numerology and tarot, so I'm letting you know this. In the major arcana, the first card, depending on which deck that you bought, if it's more of a traditional style tarot deck, what I mean by that is if you bought the Waite Rider deck, or you bought a Morgan Greer tarot deck, or you bought a what we call the Waite Rider by Arthur Edward Waite, or if you happen to purchase Aleister Crowley tarot deck, or McGregor Mathers tarot deck, all of these tarot decks, or the Aquarian style tarot deck, or the Order of the Golden Dawn tarot deck, all of those decks mean those people were a part of an order called the Golden Dawn, and they developed their own tarot decks based on the studies of Egyptian philosophies and everything else that they were studying back there with the pyramids and the Sphinx. But just to give you a hint now, Aleph, A-L-E-P-H, is the magician. Beth, B-E-T-H, Beth, B-E-T-H, Beth, or better yet, Bina or Bina, Beth, just hinting to you, is the high priestess in the tarot. Gimel, G-I-M-E-L, Gimel, is the third major arcana card. That's the motherhood card. That's the Empress. They're sitting right there. So I just want to let you know that. They're sitting right there, hinting at it. You can study it. Well, let me go back. See, the 3 or the 30 is Lamed, L-A-M-E-D, and Samek, or Samech, if you want to look at it, spell it like that, or Samek, S-A-M-E-C-H, is 60. Fire energy, like Kundalini energy, the serpentine energy. I'm going to stray from that a little bit. Let's go back to this other stuff, because you're listening, don't want to put too much out, but you can research it, and you can start to go into it and pull the information for yourself. That's what I'm here to do. Just get you started with a hint of a few things, and then you jump into it and see what you come up with, and you start playing with the numbers, and you have fun with the numbers. And if you want, take it all the way back to Babylonian times, the Chaldea, people of Chaldea, C-H-A-L-D-E-A, Ur, Babylon, Ur. And one of those countries in the Middle East is actually that. And then this is why we find out how people are so tenacious with their energy. You go study those sciences, you really start getting underneath where that energy is coming from. But it's open for you to study, to gravitate to it and get it into your system to comprehend it. So now as we continue going on, I don't want to get too lost here. I've already been on about an hour and a half, so you see this is a 2-hour show too, and I'm glad to be able to give it to you. Now, what we have coming up next here is this. We are now looking at we went from the 66, because 66, the fire energy beneath that, the fire energy going on. That 66 is a 12. And I said that's the illumination point was 12, destiny was 12, and then 3, adding to 3, expansive energy, 66. So then people say, well, what about the 666? 666 is the beast. Not necessarily. 666, 6 and 6 is 12, and 6 is 18. 18 in tarot is what? The subconscious mind. Dealing with the subconscious mind, or the unconscious mind. That's where the beast comes in, the unconscious self. The self that may act erratic without understanding what's going on. May become abusive. may fall into addictions without understanding what's going on. 666 adds to 9. Mars. 6 is Venus, though. 6 is Venus. Matters of the heart, romance, love. It's the caretaker number. What are you caring for? What are you giving to? What are you receiving? What are you serving? 6 in the earth column. What are you serving in the earth column? What's practical about your love? What's emotional or artistic about your love as 66? As 666, 666, what is your mental nature doing? What do you love to do mentally? What do you love to think about? You see 666, it's hinting, what do you love to think about? There's some wonderful things you could be thinking about. What do you love? Where do you like to place your love? Your affections. Where do you like to be the caretaker at in your life, in your community? Think of 666 as being this. 6 for you, 6 for your immediate family, 6 for your neighborhood. Then 6666 goes beyond your neighborhood into your state, your country, and beyond. Now, how do we take this 66? Double master number 66. How do we take that? Which part of the 6s are we focusing on? Are we focusing on the mental and the emotional in the middle doubles, master 66, or the 66s on the end? There's 66 there and that's 66 there. So these are things we want to start looking at, we want to deal with. Interesting quality. Interesting format of information here. But now you got 77. Very unique now, 77. 7 is Neptunian quality, Pisces quality. Neptunian quality, Pisces quality. An inward journey going on. Think of the 7 like the chakras, the 7 main chakras that we all talk about. The root or base chakra, the sacral chakra, the solar plexus, the heart center, the throat center, the brow center, the crown center. We can go into that with the 7s. 7 colors of the rainbow. The 7 musical tones. So you got all these different qualities going on that you can relate or connect to when working with the 7s. But now you've got 70 septenarians, right? People in their 70s. We are hoping that when we reach our 70s that we are youthful, because when we hit 50 we hit rejuvenation time, and then 70s we hit 70s like our second opportunity to be 20 again after age 50. So when you hit 80, it's like you're being 30 again after age 50. When you hit 90 years of age, it's like you're being, what, age 40 before you hit 50. And it just goes on and on and on. So a person hits 100, you hope in their personality that they become whatever their choice is. They can be 10 years old, they can be 19 years old, they can be 28 years old, they can be 37 years old. It can go on and on and on and on and on. So these are the qualities that we see here, the qualities that are happening here. There's this opportunity that's presenting itself when we're studying the numbers. The key to life is numerology, the power of numbers. So master number 77. 7 is perfection. Heal thyself, physician, know thyself. You want to know yourself so you can create wholeness or balance for yourself. Become more psychic, more intuitive. 777s, become more spiritual in your thinking. Quadruple 7s, definitely become more intuitive with your thinking. So now use 4 states of mind of the 7 or what? You're right there at 77, 77. The 4 states of the 7 are your spiritual intuitive nature. And 7 is an old soul, so you would comprehend that you would be more intuitive and more spiritual as time goes on. Also, spiritualize your thinking process. Spiritualize also your emotional process, and definitely spiritualize your physical nature. Become more scientific. Get into the rejuvenation. We're all working on changing our bodies. The planet is evolving. The planet is moving. The planet is transforming herself. So internally, we're doing a lot of things too. You're going to feel like you got to cleanse yourself out too. You feel like you want to cleanse your bloodstream too. You want to feel like you want to stop having headaches, migraine headaches, and sinus congestions. You want to clear up the eczema. You want to do a lot of things. Earth is changing, so are you. 88. 8 is Saturn. 11 times 8. 10 times 8. 40 times 2. It's moving us in that range, right? It's causing us to reach and develop. We're moving swiftly. We're moving swiftly. 80. Oct 8. 8 is harvest time. 8 is harvest time. So now 88, harvest. There's a harvest, reaping from the seeds that you planted, not only in the physical material world, but in your psychic world, in your dream time, in your emotional time, in your artistic endeavors. Opportunity to reap a harvest. 888s. Some people call that the sign of Jesus. Sananda number. Sananda means the seed of the Christ, the seed of the anointed one. 888s. 8s love to serve. 8s love finances. And now you're working and balancing your finances, harvesting your finances, not only on the physical material realm, not through your creative, artistic realm, but in your mental realm, your philosophical realm. 888s, be a philanthropist. 888s, donate somewhere. Give a donation. Give service somewhere. Look for the harvest in your garden. Look for the harvest in your bank account. Now, 8888. Here's another side of 88. The piano keys. 88 keys on the piano. Now, who knows? People might say the 88 keys are just stumbled upon. But they're there symbolically. 8 times 8 is 64. 64, 6 plus 4 is 10, which is 1. 1s and 8s have something in common. So do 8s and 7s. 1 and 8 are very analytical. Very analytical people are 1s and 8s, thinking all the time. 1's thinking about now, 8's thinking about the past, traditional things in relationship to now. 1 just thinking about right at the moment. But 8 plus 8 is 16. 1 plus 6 is 7. Master number 8888. 8888 is your mastery, your spiritual nature, your healing force nature, your perfectionist nature. Old soul self. What do you think about? What do you know about yourself? What are you aware of? What do you remember? What are you healing with yourself? 8888. Interesting quality. 8888. Almost becomes a tongue twister. 8888. 888's 8888. How philosophical are we? Spiritually and intuitively, what do we know about it? Or 8 chakras. The 7 chakras, or will you make the 8th chakra your navel or your thymus or the base of your skull? Or you can step that into the 9's as well. Instead of having 8 chakras, now you got 9 chakras. Yep. You got 9 chakras. Or maybe you have 10 chakras. 10 zones. Would make sense. You got 10 toes, you got 10 fingers. 10 toes, 10 fingers. You have 10 major energy zones. The root or base chakra, the sacral chakra or the womb. Now you step into the navel. Now you got the solar plexus. Now you have the heart center. Now you have the thymus center, the bridge between the heart and the base of the throat. Then you got the base of the throat. So that took us into 6, right? Let's count it. Root and base chakra, sacral chakra, navel, energy of the navel, solar plexus, heart, 5. 6, a little above the center of the sternum and beneath the throat, thymus. Then throat chakra. Okay, now here we go. We've got the throat chakra. Now we step into this other range, and what do we have here? From the throat chakra, you go where? You've got the brow center. And then you go where? You got the base of your skull. And then you go where? You got the crown. 10. Right up the front, going into the back. Now if you really want to get down the back, you can start traveling down the back of yourself too. And come up with some more. After all, we got 33 vertebrae on the spine. 33 realms of consciousness on the spine. 33 realms of consciousness on the spine. 33 realms of consciousness from the tailbone up to the base of your skull. A lot of energy to look at. A lot of symbols and symbolism to study. See what you can find. Let's go back to the 88. 88 keys on the piano. Yep, 88 keys total. You can count them from the low bass tone all the way up to that high pitched tone. And then thinking of 80, you got 8 as an octave. 8 octaves. An octave, 8 notes. That means from the first note, if you start with middle C, start with middle C. That's 256 Hertz cycle. Middle C, which is 16 squared. So anybody born on the 16th of a month, of any month, start intoning middle C for you. 256 Hertz cycle. Start intoning the middle C for you. A lot of ranges here, a lot of energy here. 64 Hertz. If you're in the tuning forks, that's the bone resonator, as they call it. 64 Hertz, bone resonator. That's that big tuning fork that has the 2 little parts in it that look like a mallet. And when you hit it, it gives that sound like that, real low, like a rattling sound. They put that on the points to kind of mend or vibrate the bone. Because the bones need a lower rate of vibration and not a high pitch. You don't want to break them or crack them. Give them a lower range. That's 64 Hertz. That's still the C note lower. Think of 64 as the 64 what? Hexagrams. Or I put it this way, 64 trigrams and hexagrams together. Go to the I Ching for that. Or look at the Chinese Pakwa or Bagua in Feng Shui. Or go to the martial arts. When they study Bagua, an actual martial arts style, Kung Fu style, that is a part of the Tai Chi system, internal system. Tai Chi, Xingyi, Bagua. Ba is 8, Gua is 3. Bagua, 8 trigrams. all the way around the wheel. 4 cardinal directions, 4 diagonal directions. Octagon, 4 sides. Well, let's step back to this 88. 88 could be someone who is doing service in the heavens and service on the material plane at the same time, but mainly through the emotional and the physical material world, psychic world. 888s are doing service on the mental side as well, analytical side. Quadruple 8s, 8888, means they're stepping into the spiritual realm and working that balance traditionally, eclectically, all the way down, and not having any form of restrictions or limitations. Not having any form of restrictions or limitations, coming all the way down into the earth plane, anchoring it. And now we step into 99. Remember that TV show, Get Smart, Agent 99? That's stepping out, almost going into infinity. 99 is the flip side of 66. 666 is the flip side of 999. 3 9s. I was told long ago up in Harlem, studying with a guy up in Harlem. He was a master astronumerologist. And he dropped the science on me. He says the 999s was the 3 pyramids. Now I'm still working on that. That's the puzzle piece for me. I was told that way back in 1979 in the summer, standing on the corner of 125th Street and Lenox Avenue at a place called the Tree of Life Bookstore. Used to be there from 1963 or 61 all the way up to 1980 something, 82 or 83, 84 when it dissolved. But it was called the UCLA of Harlem because it was the university at the corner of Lenox Avenue and West 125th Street. Oh, that was called the Tree of Life Bookstore. But I remember being there at the end of a psychic fair, and I was studying talking numbers, and another guy, he was much older than me back then, and he was talking about, for me, I was only 26. The gentleman talking to me, he was in his 40s, but he was what we call the dynamite astrologer and numerologist, and tarot. Studied all 3 of those, and he knew it inside and out. He knew palmistry inside and out. And he was telling me about how the number 27, which adds to a 9, is representative of the 999. 3 pyramids based on a 9. I still haven't figured it out yet. Still working at it. Still looking to figure that out. But think of this way. Think of it this way. 9 is completion and understanding. It's Mars. It is the ruler of Aries and Scorpio. Aries is the I am. And Scorpio is like the surgeon, fixed water sign. Leos are courageous people. So are Scorpios. Nothing really scares a Scorpio person. They're real settled. They emotionally, nothing shocks them. They may impact or influence or shock other people, but you don't shock them rarely. Rarely when you do. So now you have 9. 9 is completion and endings. 9 is a humanitarian quality. So we just see the single digit 9. You're looking at 9 in the units column. That's where you are material and physical. What we're saying here at the same time is all the energy is coming down like this. Spirit realm, mental air, like the fire, air, water, and earth. Fire, air, water, and earth. So when we're seeing this energy coming down like this, just making sure my volume is out, you're seeing this energy come down like this. What you're also looking at the same time is the closer you get to the earth plane, the more compact all the energy becomes. The lighter the energy becomes when it goes up. So if you see in 9999, what is coming to a close and what's getting ready to be born? What's in the incubation tank? What's in the womb? What's getting ready to be born? You see the number 9. 9 is warrior energy. That could be a physical warrior. That could be a spiritual warrior. That could be a healer. That could be a top-notch healer. Top-notch teacher. Top-notch minister. Top-notch administrator, board member. Top-notch athlete. 9999. Being spiritual, being analytical, philosophical, being intuitive, being creative and psychic, and then being physical, but then materializing it, birthing it on here, anchoring it onto the earth at its highest level. 9999. But you see 999, and we don't see that on the clock, right? We don't get to see 999 on the clock. You get to see 929, 939, 949, 919, 909, 900, 911 on the clock, 911 on the clock, 119 on the clock, 129 on the clock. You get to that number 9 in that third position on the left side of that colon, and then on the right side of that 2 dots vertically on the colon, you get up to what on the clock? You get as far as what? 59. 9:59. AM or PM. 9:59. 1 minute away from 10 o'clock. AM or PM. Just like to throw that in there a little bit. We're playing with numbers today. This is the Key to Life is Numerology. This is a special edition, part 2 of 2. The Key to Life is Numerology, right here at Circle of Grace 1 channel on Ustream.tv. If you'd like more information, you could give me a call. Leave a message on 973-685-5978. That's my Skype internet number. You're free to call that Monday through Friday, anytime between 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. and both Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. However, if you're got a smartphone tied up to your email account, why don't you email me at iam.circleofgrace1@yahoo.com. That's iam.circleofgrace1@yahoo.com. Or you can send me an email also at Bishop Francis, BISHOPFRANCIS, written like one word, at circleofgrace1.net. Or you can send me a text message to 908-878-2978. That's 908-878-2978. And you know, I'm going to start putting a lot of these tweets in the form of tweets up on Twitter. So if you want to follow me on Twitter, just look me up as capital CIROF, capital GRACE with the number 1, capital I, lowercase NST. That stands for Sir of Grace 1 Institute, Circle of Grace 1 Institute, just combining everything together. I put a lot of tweets up. I think I got about 700 tweets up right now. They're inspirational tweets, but I'm going to start adding some numerology in there. So if you want to follow me on Twitter, just go to twitter.com/ type in capital C, lowercase IROF, capital G, lowercase RACE, with the number 1 at the end, capital I, lowercase NST, Sir of Grace 1 Inst, for Institute. And look for me there on Twitter. I'm going to start putting up some of this beautiful information about numerology. And get this out, because we're going to be coming on to teach a prepaid teleseminar or webinar, prepaid, real soon, sometime either the summertime here, or we're going to kick it off in the fall. We're going to put out some introductory lessons, and right here is an opportunity to get the Circle of Grace 1 special edition of the Key to Life is Numerology, part 2 of 2. Today is Thursday, May 26, 2011. Right here at Ustream.tv for Circle of Grace 1's channel. We're doing what we call some random broadcasting. That's when Spirit tells me, says, hey, Bishop Francis E. Revels-Bey, come up and put some numerology information on. Come put up some crystal information on, meditation with crystals. Come put up meditation on. You can come here now and see this. I've done back-to-back today. Circle Grace 1's special edition of The Key to Life is Numerology, part 1 of 2. I was on here for 2 hours, and I came right back for another 2 hours. I did a lot of talking today and gave you spiritual edition, The Key to Life is Numerology, part 2 of 2 for the Circle Grace 1. And you got a lot of information. I walk you through the numbers 1 through 31 for people born on the calendar day. That's in part 1 of 2. And then I came back here and started off with addresses for businesses and homes and apartment numbers and office numbers. And then stepped right into these master numbers of the double digit numbers, 11s, all the way up to 99, triple ones, all the way up to triple nines, quadruple nines, all the way up to quadruple ones, all the way up to quadruple nines. So you got a lot of information here. See what you can do with it. Get back in touch with me. Let's link up and talk about numbers and see what we find. It's very interesting how to deal with the key to life is numerology and the power of numbers. Well, this is Bishop Francis E. Revels-Bey. I'll see you next time with some more information up here. And I'm going to do my best to put some over on my YouTube channel. If you go to www.youtube.com/Circle of Grace 1, in the next couple of weeks, or maybe tonight, you'll see something up there. Maybe next week or tomorrow morning, you'll see some information there about numerology. And go to my other channel, Justin.tv, Circle of Grace 1, and find some numerology there as well. Well, until next time, brothers and sisters, globally, all of you, doesn't matter where you are. I don't care if you live in Europe. I don't care if you live in Asia. I don't care if you live in Africa, Canada, South America, Central America. Wherever you are, we're all brothers and sisters spiritually. Thanks for sharing your time with me. Tell your friends about what you just witnessed today, what you just heard. I'm going to have this back up in rotation along with part 1 of 2 in about 10-15 minutes, okay? But until next time, remember, divine grace is a blessing as we're alive and well in the age of remembrance.